he has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punches. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division.
But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint
of the opponent. But anybody that's watched Terence Crawford's career knows full well how much talent this young man has. I mean, he is absolutely sensational, both as an orthodox and as a southpaw fighter. You can't really tell which is his favoured side.
ESPN's Dan Raphael and Stephen A. Smith break down why Terence Crawford could dominate Canelo Alvarez. They argue that while Canelo once had an unshakable chin, recent fights show he's been getting hit and hurt more often. Crawford's mix of slick footwork, sharp timing, and knockout power makes him a nightmare opponent. In their view, Crawford has all the tools needed to outbox Canelo and possibly beat him in a very clear fashion.
I think Terence Crawford is a marvelous boxer, arguably the best in the world, pound for pound. But can you hurt Canelo? If you can't hurt him, I have no doubt he can outbox him. My issue is, if you can't hurt him, what kind of a challenge can you truly pose? What do you say to that?
No, that's a great point. I mean, here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez has a historically great chin. Now, I go way back when he first came to the United States and started boxing, and he found himself on an HBO pay-per-view undercard years and years ago, fighting against the older brother of the great Miguel Cotto. His name was Jose Miguel Cotto, and he had gotten a ton of hype. He had signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and a lot of those of us in the media. And I had seen him a couple of times before that. This is my first time seeing him in person, really paying close attention. And he almost got knocked out in the first round. And I remember Stephen A. almost looking around at Media Row going, what the heck is this all hyped about? This man can't take a shot. He's going to get drilled. He was lucky that the fight was over, that the round was over in round 1, or there might have been some much more trouble. Stephen A., that was like, 16, 17 years ago. I've never seen him wobbled, rocked, visibly hurt since then. He has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punches. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division. But even at junior middleweight, which is where Terence Crawford had his most recent fight back in August, when he moved up and he won a world title, he didn't blow the doors off. He fought a very tough, solid opponent named Israel Madrimov. He gave him a good fight. It was very close. Madrimov's people seem to think he might have even been able to edge it out. But if you can't hurt an Israel Madrimov at 154, what the heck are you going to do with Canelo Alvarez, the sturdiest guy in the world, at 168? So that aspect of it is certainly a problem. You mentioned about Charlo. Charlo was there to get his check. I know one thing about Terence Crawford. He's not going to just come to turn up to get the check. He'll at least try. And Charlo, I don't think, really tried.
Stephen A. Smith takes a strong stance when talking about the fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He doesn't hold back, saying he fully believes Crawford will win. For Smith, Crawford's edge comes not only from skill, but from his deep hunger to prove himself. He stresses that Crawford's mindset and burning determination will be a key factor in the result. Smith's confidence shows how much he respects Crawford's ambition and relentless drive to prepare for this challenge.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love boxing.
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo is, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is a naturally bigger, stroke fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
Always prepared.
He's always ready.
He's
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's...
Teddy Ellis throws his support behind Crawford by stressing that skill beats size. He believes that things like weight and reach don't matter as much as technical mastery. Crawford's game is built on precision, timing, and adaptability qualities that outweigh raw strength. Atlas argues that Canelo's power and size won't be enough against someone who can break opponents down with pure skill. His take adds to the belief that great technique often cancels out physical disadvantage in huge matchups.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
Al Bernstein points out another strength of Crawford, his unpredictability. He says Crawford never sticks to one style and often changes his approach mid-fight, making it tough for opponents to figure him out. Against Canelo, who relies heavily on timing and counterpunching, that unpredictability could be a major problem. Bernstein also highlights Crawford's ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw, adding another challenge. This flexibility makes it harder for Canelo to prepare, leaving him open to punches he may not expect.
Most fans or most people would probably say Crawford, I'm guessing, because that's a big part of how he's won, and everybody feels that and rightfully so, that the way he's figured out, he's constantly changing from lefty to righty. He's a person that alters his attack. Sometimes he's a boxer, sometimes he's walking people down. Canelo's style is more the same in most fights. He is a counterpuncher who's waiting for you to make your move so he can counterpunch you. Then when he has you in trouble, he's willing to move forward. His attack is a pretty straightforward one. On the face of it, you might say Crawford, but I think the thing about Canelo Alvarez is that he has seen every style that you can see.
Gareth A. Davies focuses on Crawford's long career, noting he's been a pro for more than 15 years. That time in the ring has sharpened his instincts, boosted his fight IQ, and helped him stay calm under pressure. Davies says Crawford's record shows nothing but consistent excellence against elite competition. He's fought punchers, slick boxers, and durable veterans and found ways to win every time. That adaptability, combined with patience and technical brilliance, makes him one of the sport's most complete fighters, according to Davies. This experience gives Crawford a real edge heading into a possible clash with Canelo Alvarez.
The levels that he's gone through, the weights that he's gone through, and the opponents that he has been in with, he's come up short against a couple. But he's come through some big challenges as well through his, 65, 66 professional bouts since he was 15 years of age. There's no doubt that this is the biggest test of Terence Crawford's career, not only because of the weight step up, but also because of the level of the opponent. But anybody that's watched Terence Crawford's career knows full well how much talent this young man has. He is absolutely sensational, both as an orthodox and as a southpaw fighter. You can't really tell which is his favoured side. He's that good, the angles that he creates. And the way that he not only dissects people, but the way that he puts his foot down when he gets somebody hurt is
he's spiteful.
He's truly, truly impressive.
But what he also does, and this is where I think people are making the mistake with the fight with Israel Madrimov last summer in Los Angeles, was that Terence doesn't mind doing enough to win. He doesn't, if he knows he's got to win on points, he's happy to tuck everything neatly in the office and win round by round. It reminds me of Floyd Mayweather. It reminds me of Pernell Whitaker. It reminds me of guys that win with ease without overstretching themselves, that don't have to get in the battle. But when he's got someone hurt, as you rightly say, he's spiteful. I'm not sure he'll get Canelo hurt in this fight. But if his timing and his movement are on, a slightly slowed Canelo, who likes to load up these days, could find himself frustrated by Terence Crawford.
Yeah, and there's also the aspect of when he is behind. We've all seen that famous clip where he's fighting Sean Porter. Somebody sells him ringside. They've got him down on the cards. He goes through the gears and stops Sean Porter in the very next round. There's also that element to him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. But he's also fighting someone that's equally as brilliant. A very different type of style, Canelo.
And a fan favorite.
Confidence is a theme that comes up often with Crawford. Analysts note that his sparring sessions and gym work have impressed trainers and fellow fighters time and again. These stories show that Crawford shines not just in the spotlight, but also in everyday training. His ability to dominate behind closed doors proves he is always sharp and never careless with his craft. That steady excellence fuels his confidence, giving him the mental edge to believe he can outthink and outperform anyone, including Canelo Alvarez.
Man is so confident. He's so confident that he's about to become undisputed. Listen, 2 weeks to go, less than 2 weeks to go now. What? We're talking about 12 days. 12 days. What can we expect from this unbelievable showdown? Listen, the build-up has been absolutely incredible. When you talk about the sparring stories, when you talk about the unbelievable rumors that we've been hearing for the past 10 to 12 weeks. Will but Crawford's power carry? Will Canelo age overnight? So many questions that we have when it comes to this unbelievable fight. But not too long to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to find out the truth. We are about to find out who's truly the greatest of this era. Let me tell you this. I said this in most of my videos so far. The more I watch Bud Crawford and the more I watch Canelo Alvarez tape, the more my appreciation for both men increases. Listen, Canelo is the greatest pressure/counter puncher in history when he puts both together. And Crawford is the most dynamic fighters my eyes ever saw. Ever saw. Now, listen to this. The moment this fight got announced, we didn't know the things that we know now. We didn't know about their sparring partners. We didn't know about the shape that they were gonna come in for this fight.
Comedian and boxing fan Ari Spears gave a historical take on the matchup. He recalled decades of fights where some of Mexico's greatest champions went up against fast and skilled American boxers. In many of those classic battles, the Americans came out on top by using defense, slick movement, and sharp counters. Spears admitted that Canelo is a complete fighter with experience at the highest level. Still, he argued that this fight continues that old tradition of clashing styles where defense, timing, and adaptability usually decide the winner.
Take a top-notch Hispanic fighter, put him against a top-notch black fighter, the black dude usually edges him out. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Latino fighters, because look at the greats. De La Hoya, motherfucking
Roberto Duran,
Arguello, Felix Trinidad, what's my man's name? Chavez.
Huh?
So there have been legends, but 9 times out of 10, when the top Mexican legend takes on the top black legend, the black dude wins. Boxing and basketball is just something that niggas just, we got that wop that just, we edge you out. We edge you out. Duran lost to Hagler. He got knocked out so viciously by Hearns. The rumor is he's still waking up today. He lost he did the no-mas with Leonard.
Yeah, no, I've been hanging out with Sugar Ray Leonard recently. We talked about that whole situation.
De La Hoya lost to Floyd. He lost to Bernard. He lost to Sugar Shane Mosley. Usually the black fighters edge out the Latinos when it come down to it.
So basically you're saying Crawford's gonna win because he's black.
I'm saying he's gonna win because he's got skills. But that black component, that's that extra juice.
That's that extra juice? I mean, look.
It's like the Batmobile when it's going fast, and then he hits the nitro button, and the flame shoots out of the back of the car and takes it to another level. Black dudes have the nitro switch.
On the other side, Canelo Alvarez remains as confident as ever. He insists he doesn't need outside approval to prove his greatness, saying his legacy speaks for itself for Canelo. Self-belief has always been the foundation of his career. His long list of victories against top fighters backs up that confidence. At the same time, His attitude shows the clear difference between him and Crawford. Crawford is chasing a career-defining win to prove himself, while Canelo sees himself as already sitting at the very top of the sport.
Performance that you know you're gonna have, right? They can't deny you anymore.
I don't know, but I don't give a fuck. So I feel I'm the best, and that's it. I don't focus on if the people say or put me in the first position. I'm the best. I feel I'm the best. I'm doing because I love boxing.
I call Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. This is my mega fight. This is my moment.
You didn't have much interest in this Crawford fight. You were saying that there wasn't much in it for you, and you pointed out that people will say that he was too small. What changed?
I think he's one of the best fighters for more fun. No, he accomplished a lot of things too. Mexican with the American fighter is always big.
When he fights you at Allegiant Stadium, I imagine it's going to be 55,000 plus screaming Canelo fans, right? Many from Mexico.
Sean Porter is fully confident in Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez. He believes Crawford's preparation and focus are at a rare level in boxing. Porter says Crawford will bring a game plan designed to break down Canelo's style. His speed, timing, and discipline in the ring will make the difference on fight night. Porter imagines a performance so complete it could redefine modern boxing, cementing Crawford's place with one of the biggest wins of this era. This fight is seen as the most important test of Crawford's career, with Canelo representing the toughest challenge he has ever faced. The stakes are massive for both men. For Canelo, losing to a smaller fighter moving up in weight could damage his legacy in boxing history. Those losses are remembered harshly, especially when the bigger champion falls to a lighter opponent. That's why for Canelo, victory here is not just pride, it's crucial to protect his place among the all-time greats.
Canelo's legacy. And he gave a resounding yeah. A resounding yeah. He said it would tarnish Canelo, massively tarnish Canelo's legacy. And some of the things that he said were just basically things that most of us know, just some register and make sure that other people know and others don't, right? But it would tarnish his legacy, and for the obvious reasons. One is, we know that the guy's older. Crawford's older. He's going to be 38 years old here, right? So he's an older fighter. He's an active fighter, right? And most of the time, these are things that, make people say that people are going to lose. Man, he's inactive. So he's pretty inactive, hasn't fought in a year, hasn't fought more than once a year in 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years. And also, he's coming up in weight.
Showbiz the adult, a respected voice in boxing, gave a balanced view of the Crawford versus Canelo fight. He explained that Canelo's success has long come from toughness, strength, and steady pressure, breaking opponents down with sharp counters and non-stop pace. His durability and ability to set traps make him dangerous for anyone. On the other hand, Showbiz pointed out that Crawford's wrestling background shaped his sense of balance, control, and anticipation paired with his high boxing IQ. These qualities give Crawford a rare advantage that few fighters can match.
He uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of him, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage, and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below.